Let's say you're about to give a lecture on melanoma for your local dermatology journal club. Starting at the Lane Library website, lane.stanford.edu, type melanoma into the main search box and then select Images from the filters appearing right below the search box. You will now see a selection of melanoma images filtered by usage rights. As with Google, you can now browse for an appropriate image. Once you find one, select it to open a more detailed view of the image along with a description, the usage rights statement, and a link to the source page. In the search examples we just reviewed, we mentioned some terms like usage rights and author attribution. Terms like these relate to copyright and fair use, which you must be aware of when reusing works, such as images, that have been created by others. Copyright is a notoriously complex legal topic, but for the purposes of educational use, which is what we're highlighting here, you can mostly focus on a few key points. It all starts with the Copyright Act, which protects original creative work. For example, works such as videos, photographs, and written works in tangible form are all subject to copyright. For works published after 1977, the copyright lasts for the author's lifetime plus 70 years. The author of the work, that is to say, the owner of the copyright, has almost exclusive rights to make copies, share, distribute, publish, and display the work. However, there are some limitations to these exclusive rights, including fair use and face-to-face teaching. Fair use is basically any copying of a copyrighted work that's done for a limited and transformative purpose, such as to criticize, parody, or comment on a copyrighted work. For example, if you are commenting upon or critiquing an image from a published journal article or the article itself, fair use principles may allow you to reproduce portions of the work to achieve your purposes by quoting a few lines or summarizing the content. It is not simply enough to acknowledge the source material when using a copyrighted work for your own purposes. If you're in doubt about the right to use or acknowledge a source, the best practice may be to seek the permission of the copyright owner. It is important to note that the copyright owner may be the author or the publisher of the work in question. If you're wanting to use a copyrighted work as part of your teaching materials for a lecture or presentation, this may also qualify as fair use for educational purposes. The Educational Fair Use Guidelines apply to works used in educational institutions, such as K-12 schools, colleges and universities, libraries, hospitals, or other nonprofit institutions where they engage in nonprofit research, instructional, or scholarly activities for educational purposes. The key is that the educational purposes must be non-commercial instruction to students at nonprofit institutions, non-commercial investigation designed to make a contribution to a field of knowledge, or presentation of research findings at non-commercial peer workshops, seminars, or conferences.